Have you ever given everything to someone only for them to discard you like yesterday's trash? Like you never meant a damn thing to them, as if all the love, effort and sacrifices you made were worthless, but instead of recognizing your value, they walked away without a second thought. Leaving you to pick up the pieces feels like a slap in the face, right? But what if I told you that leaving isn't a loss? It's actually your greatest gain. What if the second they walked away, they handed you the keys to your own freedom and power? Their exit is not the end of you. It's the beginning of something stronger, something unshakable. Our wise Stoic friends really hit the nail on the head when they said their departure doesn't define you, how you rise afterward. That's exactly what I need you to focus on. Because when someone walks away, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's the universe clearing out the dead weight, making space for something far greater. This isn't a moment of loss, it's a moment of rediscovery. It's your chance to rise stronger, more resilient, and laser-focused on what truly matters you. Yes, my friends, it's always been about you. Let them walk away. You're not losing them. You're gaining clarity, strength, and the chance to rebuild on your own terms. So now, let's fuel ourselves with an affirmation. Repeat after me. I refuse to break. Say it again with conviction. I refuse to break. Now don't just keep it to yourself. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. Don't shy away from this moment. Let the world know that you are unbreakable. Yes, you are, my friend, unbreakable. Well, folks, today's video is going to flip the entire narrative. This isn't just about moving on. It's about using rejection as the fire that ignites your greatest comeback, ready to rise from the ashes and claim your strength. So, folks, before I guide you toward the 8 powerful Stoic lessons on how to act and become unbreakable when someone walks away, let's talk about something you need to hear. Let's address the real issue. How do you stop yourself from chasing them even when you're burning inside to get them back? It's a brutal situation, and let's be honest, it feels like you're fighting a war between your heart and your mind, and your heart is dragging you down. You gave them everything, yet they walked away like you were disposable. They tossed you aside like trash, as if all the love and all the sacrifices meant absolutely nothing. And what did you do? You stood there wondering how you could still win them back. You allowed them to walk all over you, to use you, to disrespect you, because deep down they didn't see your worth. But let's stop for a second. Do you see your worth? Or are you convincing yourself that you're only as valuable as they think you are? You keep chasing them, thinking you'll get them back, that somehow their validation will fill the hole in your heart. But here's the hard truth. They are not your salvation. The more you run after them, the more power you hand over, and the more you treat yourself like you're worthless. Think about that for a second. Are you really going to let someone's rejection define? Are you so desperate to be wanted that you'll throw away your dignity to get them back? This is the raw reality. Their leaving is not a loss. It's your biggest opportunity. The moment they walked out, they gave you something they'll never take back: your freedom to rise, freedom to reclaim yourself. The second they shut that door, they gave you the space to rebuild and become stronger than ever. You think their leaving is the end, but it's the beginning of your rise, my friend. Our wise Stoic friends nailed it when they said their departure doesn't define you, how you rise afterward. Does you have to stop seeing their exit as the destruction of your worth and start seeing it as the opening to reclaim your power? When someone walks away, it's not a reflection of your value, it's a reflection of their failure to recognize your greatness. But here's the problem. You're too busy chasing them to realize it. Every second you spend running after them is a second you're losing for yourself. Ask yourself, am I going to keep wasting my energy chasing someone who threw me away? Or am I going to use this pain to fuel my rise? Because let me tell you something. If you don't stop chasing, you'll never stop breaking. So how do you stop? You stop letting them control your worth. You stop seeing them as the solution to your pain. Instead, you turn all that energy inward back to, you put yourself first, and you start building your strength, your confidence, and your resilience, because the only way to win this battle is to refuse to play their game. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are consumed by the need to chase someone who left, you will never rise. But if you shift your mindset and see their leaving as the moment you take back control, then nothing can stop you. So here's what you need to do right now. Stop chasing. Refuse to break. Say it with me. I refuse to break. Let that be your mantra. You're battling. Say it again. I refuse to break. And drop it in the comments. Don't hold back. Let the world know that you are done being stepped on, done being treated like you don't matter. This isn't just about moving on. This is about rising up and becoming unbreakable. And in the next 8 lessons, I'm going to give you the tools to do just that. Stick with me, because this is where the real transformation begins. And if this video is really hitting home for you, if it's speaking to that part of you that's ready to rise up and reclaim your power, then do yourself and others a favor. Smash that like button, because this message is valuable, and there are countless people out there just like you who need to hear this right now. When you help others, the universe aligns itself to help you. So go ahead, hit that like button, and let's spread this power to those who need it most. Let's lift each other up, and let's get started. Lesson 1. The circle of control. This is something that can change your life if you truly understand it. The circle of control. Have you ever found yourself spiraling, worrying endlessly about things you can't change? Maybe you've been obsessing over why someone walked away, why they didn't see your worth, or why life just doesn't seem to give you the break you deserve. Here's the truth. You're wasting your energy on things that are completely out of your control, and every second you waste on that, you're losing precious time that could be spent on things you actually can change. Think about it. How many times have you stayed up at night thinking why they left or what I could have done differently? The answer is always the same. Nothing, because once someone makes a decision to walk away, you cannot change it. And if you keep trying, it's like banging your head against a wall, hoping it'll move. Newsflash, it won't. You'll only hurt yourself. Now let's dive into what the circle of control really is. The Stoics were wise enough to understand this concept centuries ago. There are 2 things in life: the things we control and the things we don't. The trick is to focus 100% of your energy on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, and completely let go of the things that are beyond your control. Simple, yes; easy, no. Epictetus said, "At best we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." That's the key right there. You don't control what others do, say, or feel. You don't control the past. You don't control whether they come back, but you do control how you respond to all of it. That's where your power lies. Imagine this. You're in a relationship that starts falling apart. You feel it happening. You start doing everything to fix it, sending more texts, planning more dates, trying harder and harder, because you think if you just control the situation, they'll stay. But no matter how much you try, they drift away because you don't control them. The only thing you ever controlled was your own actions and your reaction when they left. And instead of wasting all that energy on them, you could have been using it to focus on becoming stronger mentally and emotionally. It's like being in a boat that's caught in a storm. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can control the sails. You can adjust the steering and decide whether you're going to capsize or ride the storm out. That's your circle of control. Here's a humorous example that'll hit home. Imagine you're sitting in traffic and it's moving slower than a snail on a Sunday. You're honking the horn, swearing under your breath, maybe even cursing the very existence of traffic lights. But here's the reality. You're stuck, and no amount of frustration will make the cars move faster. What you can control is how you react to that situation. You can blast some music, use the time to think, or heck, call someone you've been meaning to catch up with. It's a simple choice, but it changes the entire experience. You can either be frustrated or take control of your mood. That's the circle of control in action. Now let's talk about how to incorporate this into your life. Every time you start spiraling, whether it's over a breakup, a job loss, or any disappointment, stop and ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, drop it. If the answer is yes, focus your energy on that. Find it hard, you're not alone. It's one of the toughest things to master because we naturally want to control everything. But here's a trick. When you find yourself obsessing over things outside your control physically, stop yourself, stand up, move around, do something, break the cycle. It could be something as simple as taking a deep breath or counting to 10, but that break will remind you to focus back on what you can control. Action step. Start small. Write down 3 things you're stressing about, then next to each one, write whether it's something within your control or not for the ones you can't control. Cross them out literally for the ones you can control. Make a plan for how you're going to take action on them. You'll be surprised at how much lighter you feel when you stop carrying the weight of things you can't change. Now here's another thing that's crucial. Affirmations. Sometimes our minds need a reminder of our own power. Say this out loud. I control how I respond. I own my actions. Say it again. This simple affirmation will shift your mindset. Over time, you'll start to feel that control coming back piece by piece. So what if you find it difficult to let go of the uncontrollable? It's not about being perfect. You're going to slip up. There will be moments when you fall back into old habits and start worrying about things you can't change. That's okay. The key is to recognize when it's happening and pull yourself back into your circle of control as quickly as possible. Here's a Stoic quote to anchor this lesson. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Let that sink in. You have the power to revoke your pain, your frustration, and your anxiety, because it's all based on your perception, and your perception is something you absolutely control. So here's what I need you to remember. Your power lies within your circle of control. Everything outside that lets it go. When you start living this way, you'll realize that the things that used to consume you no longer have that power. You'll feel lighter, more in control, and most importantly, you'll be unstoppable. And whenever you find it difficult, hit yourself with this affirmation. Simply close your eyes and say, I am in control. Say it again louder with the conviction. I am in control. Let it sink in now. Here's what I need you to do. Go ahead and drop it in the comments to let me know you're following along. Don't hold back. This is about taking charge. Let me see that you're stepping into your power right here, right now. Lesson 2. The vision focus trick. Let's cut to the chase. The focus trick isn't just a feel-good idea. It's a power move. This is how you shift your mindset from the wreckage of the past to the unstoppable force. You're about to become no more obsessing over why they left, no more dwelling on what went wrong. It's time to get laser focused on the one thing that matters. Your future. Look, I know what you're going through. You're sitting there replaying that breakup like a bad movie on repeat thinking. If you analyze it just one more time, you'll find the magic answer to why they didn't see your worth. But here's the truth. You won't find it. Because the past is gone, dead, done over, and every second you waste thinking about it is another second. You're not focusing on where you're headed next. This is where the vision focus trick comes in. Forget about grabbing a board, cutting out pictures, or spending hours crafting some fancy display. All you need is your mind. That's right, your mind is your weapon. Here's what I need you to do. Close your eyes and visualize your future, not some distant, vague dream. I'm talking about the exact life you want to live a year from now. Imagine yourself at your peak, healthy and successful, surrounded by people who respect you and are completely unbothered by the person who walked away. See it clearly. What does that version of you look like? How do they act? What's their daily routine? Feel it. This is where you're headed, and the more you focus on it, the faster you'll get there. You're not a victim anymore. You're a builder. You're not stuck in the past. You're creating a future so powerful that the person who left you will seem like a distant memory because you'll be too busy living your best life. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is what the vision focus trick is all about. You decide what you're going to be, and then you focus on it with everything you've got. This isn't daydreaming. This is building your new reality. Every single day you're going to wake up and visualize that future. Before you go to bed, you'll replay it in your mind, and every time you get distracted by thoughts of your ex, you're going to slam those thoughts into the ground and refocus on your vision. You're in charge now. Let me break it down. Whenever you catch yourself spiraling back into those old thoughts, what if they come back, or why didn't they choose me? Stop yourself cold, right then and there. Visualize where you're going. Force yourself to think about the goals you're chasing, the version of yourself you're becoming. Use every negative thought as a trigger to focus harder on your future. And guess what happens when you lock your mind into this kind of focus? Your actions start aligning with that vision. You start making moves, big moves. You'll find yourself hitting the gym harder, crushing your work goals and cutting out anything that doesn't serve your future. You'll become a magnet for success. And the best part, you won't even care about the person who left, because you'll be too busy chasing the life you deserve if you find it difficult to let go or keep slipping back into old patterns. Here's what you do. Set alarms on your phone that remind you to refocus throughout the day. When the alarm goes off, close your eyes for a few seconds and visualize that future again. Don't let yourself fall back into the past. Yank your mind forward. This is how you break the cycle. Marcus Aurelius said the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything. If you keep thinking about what's gone, you'll stay stuck. But if you keep your mind locked on where you're going, you'll start moving forward at a speed you didn't think was possible. Now hit yourself with this affirmation: I am becoming better. Say it again: I am becoming better. This is more than just a statement. It's your reminder that every day you're growing stronger, and more focused. Drop that affirmation in the comments right now and let me know you're ready to own your future. Because here's the hard truth. Your best days are ahead of you, not behind you. The person who walked away irrelevant. What you do next. Everything. So stick with me, folks, as every next lesson will make you stronger and more powerful, and you really need this lesson. 3. Embrace the pain. Let's get real. For a second, pain is part of life. You're going to feel it, and there's no escaping it when someone walks away. When you're left behind, it hurts. It feels like everything inside you is ripping apart. Most people will tell you to move on, to distract yourself, or numb it with something quick. But here's the truth. Numbing the pain only makes it worse. The real strength comes when you learn to embrace that pain. Yeah, you heard me right. Embrace it. Look, I get it right now. You probably want nothing more than to forget that gut-wrenching feeling. But here's the thing. Pain is your greatest teacher. The pain you're feeling is telling you something. It's pushing you to grow, to adapt, and to become someone stronger than you ever imagined. It's not your enemy, it's your fuel, and the faster you realize that, the faster you start to heal. Epictetus nailed it when he said, "Difficulties show men what they are." Your pain is showing you who you are. This isn't about running from it. It's about letting it make you unbreakable, crush you, or it can fuel you. The choice is yours. Imagine this. You're at the gym lifting weights. It starts to hurt, your muscles burn, and everything in you wants to quit. But you know what? That burn is exactly what's making you stronger. The pain you feel is tearing down your muscles so they can rebuild stronger than before. The same goes for your heart and mind. The emotional pain you're going through is breaking you down so you can come back even stronger. Here's what I need you to do. Stop running from the pain. Don't avoid it. Don't distract yourself with mindless activities. And don't numb it with things that will only make you feel worse in the long run. Face it head on. Feel every part of it. Let it sting. Let it burn. Because when you sit with your pain and embrace it, something magical happens. It starts to lose its power over you. Now, I'm not saying you should wallow in your misery. This isn't about drowning in sadness. It's about facing it, learning from it, and using it as a stepping stone to rise higher. Every time the pain hits, you remind yourself that it's temporary. It's shaping you into someone stronger and more resilient. Pain is just another challenge you're going to conquer. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. The pain you're feeling, that's your path forward. Use it to push yourself further. Let it be the fire that drives you to improve, to focus on yourself, and to become unshakable. Every time the pain hits, remind yourself, "I refuse to break." Say it again, "I refuse to break." Feel that affirmation deep in your bones. This pain won't destroy you. It's going to make you unbreakable. Let it be your fuel, not your downfall. Believe it and let that be your battling every time the pain surfaces. Stick with me tight. The next steps are crucial. We're going to dive into how you take this pain, fuel it, and turn it into something unstoppable. Let's keep moving forward. Lesson 4. Mirror affirmations. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools you can use to reshape your mindset and become truly unbreakable. Mirror affirmations. Now, I know some of you might think this sounds too simple or even a little cheesy, but let me tell you, this works if you're serious about reclaiming your power and transforming your life. This is where you start. Here's the deal. The way you talk to yourself matters. The thoughts that run through your mind all day shape how you see yourself, how you act, and how you respond to challenges. And when you've been through a painful experience, like a breakup or rejection, those thoughts can get dark. You might start thinking you're not enough, that you failed, or that you're broken, but that's not reality. That's just your mind feeding you lies. This is where mirror affirmations come in every morning. You're going to look yourself in the eye, literally, and you're going to remind yourself of who you really are. You're going to speak directly to the person staring back at you in the mirror, and you're going to reprogram your mind to believe in your own strength. Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." And that's what we're doing here. You're going to declare who you are every single day until your mind has no choice but to believe it. Here's how it works. Stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say your affirmation out loud. Don't just mumble it. Say it with conviction, like you mean it. Our go-to affirmation for this: "I refuse to break," every morning. You're going to look yourself dead in the eyes and say, "I refuse to break." Say it again and again. Let those words sink into your bones until you believe it. It might feel awkward at first. You might not believe it right away. That's okay. The more you do it, the more powerful it becomes. You're teaching your brain a new narrative, one where you are not a victim, but a force of strength and resilience. After a while, something incredible happens. You stop just saying the words and start living them. Imagine this. It's been a rough day. The pain from the past is creeping back in. You're doubting yourself, wondering if you're really strong enough to handle this. You walk to the mirror, and there you are. You look yourself in the eyes and you say, "I refuse to break." And suddenly that shift happens. You feel your strength return, your resolve harden, the pain loses its grip on you, and you walk away from that mirror a little bit stronger than before. Here's the trick. Make this a daily ritual every morning and every night. No excuses. The more consistent you are, the faster your mind will catch up to this new reality. You're building. You'll start to notice a shift in how you carry yourself, how you handle challenges, and how quickly you bounce back from setbacks. Stick with me tight. The next lesson is going to push you even further. Lesson 5. Hours of Power. This next step is all about taking control of your day, your energy, and your progress. Welcome to the Hour of Power. Now let me be real with you. This is non-negotiable. If you want to rebuild yourself, get stronger, and become unbreakable, you need to dedicate at least 1 hour a day to pure self-development. No distractions, no excuses, just you and the work. This hour is where the magic happens. It's your time to build the foundation that will carry you through the rest of your day, week, and life. I don't care how busy you are. Everyone can carve out 1 hour, and trust me, it's going to change everything. Here's how it works. Split your hour of power into 2 halves, physical and mental. For the first 30 minutes, you're going to push your body, go to the gym, run, do yoga, and lift weights. Whatever gets your blood pumping, the point here isn't to look good, though that's a bonus. It's to remind yourself that you're strong, that you can push through physical discomfort, and that you're building resilience the second 30 minutes. That's for your mind. Read something that fuels your growth. Whether it's a book on Stoicism, personal development, or a skill you want to master, you can meditate, journal, or simply sit in silence and reflect. The key is to focus on strengthening your mindset, because as you know, the mind can control everything. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What you feed your mind in, that hour of power, will define how you handle the challenges of your day. You control your mind, you control your life now. If you're sitting there thinking, "I don't have time for this," let me stop you right there. You have time. Wake up an hour earlier. Cut out that mindless TV or scrolling and prioritize yourself. This is your hour to own. It's the foundation of everything you're building. So starting tomorrow, I need you to commit to this 1 hour a day to strengthen your body and mind. Because if you're serious about becoming unbreakable, this is where it starts. And remember, I refuse to break. Throw that affirmation in the comments. If you have not already, get ready to dominate your hour of power and stick with me tight. The next steps are going to take you even higher. Let's go. Lesson 6. Upgrade your circle. Let's dive into something that's going to have a massive impact on your growth and upgrading your circle. You've probably heard the saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Well, let me tell you, it's 100% true. If you're serious about becoming unbreakable, about rising above the pain and building a better version of yourself, you need to take a hard look at the people around you. Here's the deal. If you are surrounded by people who are negative, who drag you down, or who are content, staying stuck in their comfort zones, they're holding you back. These are the people who gossip, complain, and never push themselves. If they're not growing, they're pulling you down with them. You can't afford that. Now imagine this. You upgrade your circle. You start spending time with people who are driven, motivated, and pushing themselves to become better every single day. These are the ones who challenge you, who don't let you sit in your excuses, and who inspire you to level up. When you surround yourself with that kind of energy, it's contagious. You can't help but step up your game. Epictetus said it best associate with people who are likely to improve you. This isn't about being selfish, it's about survival. If you want to grow, you need to surround yourself with people who lift you higher. So what's the action step here, or is it your circle? Take a good hard look at the people you spend the most time with. Are they helping you become better, or are they holding you back? If they're dragging you down, it's time to cut ties or distance yourself, and then go out and find people who align with the direction you're heading. Join groups, meetups, or even online communities where people are focused on growth. Remember, this isn't just about making new friends. It's about upgrading your environment. When you upgrade your circle, you upgrade your life. Stick with me tight. The next lesson is very crucial. Let's keep building. Lesson 7. The 48-hour rule. We've come to one of the most important tools you can use to master your emotions. The 48-hour rule. If you want to become unbreakable, you need to learn to control your reactions. And let's be real, when someone hurts you, walks away, or disrespects you, the immediate impulse is to react. Maybe you want to send that long, angry text, blow up their phone, or post some passive-aggressive status online. But that's exactly what they expect for you to lose control. We're not giving them that satisfaction. This is where the 48-hour rule comes in. Here's the deal. Whenever you feel that surge of anger, frustration, or pain, don't act on it. Wait 48 hours before you respond or do anything. It sounds simple, but this will save you from making impulsive decisions that you'll regret later. In those 48 hours, your emotions settle, you gain clarity, and most importantly, you regain control. Marcus Aurelius said the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury by waiting. You're choosing to act with purpose and intention, not out of emotion, and that, my friends, have his power. Imagine this. You receive a message from your ex, and it hits you like a ton of bricks. Your first instinct is to fire back a reply filled with anger, or maybe even beg for answers. But instead you pause. You give yourself 48 hours to cool off. By the time that window closes, you'll realize that reacting wouldn't have changed a thing. It would have only given them more power over you. You've just taken back control. Now, during those 48 hours, do something productive. Hit the gym, dive into your hour of power, or focus on your vision. Focus trick. Shift your mind away from the emotion and toward your goals. By the time you revisit the situation, you'll have a clearer head and more self-respect. Here's your action step. The next time you feel the urge to react out of emotion, wait 48 hours. Put it on your calendar. If you have to, don't respond, don't act. Just let it sit. And when those 2 days pass, if it still matters, you can respond with a clear, controlled mindset. Now hit yourself with this affirmation: I control my reactions. Drop it in the comments and commit to mastering your emotions. Let me find out that you are following along, and I am not talking to wins. Stick with me tight. The final step is coming, and it's going to seal everything we've built. Let's go. Lesson 8. Stop chasing closure. It's a trap. Let's hit the final lesson, and this one's going to hit hard. Stop chasing closure. It's a trap you've been lied to if you think closure is the magic key to moving on. The truth is, closure is something you create, not something you get from someone else waiting for that perfect explanation, that final conversation where everything clicks and makes sense. It's not coming, and if it does, it won't give you the peace you're hoping for. You need to stop chasing it. Look, when someone walks away, they often leave us with questions. Why did they leave? Or what went wrong? We think if we just understand, if they just explain, we'll feel better and the pain will magically disappear. But here's the truth. Even if they give you every reason in the book, it won't fix what's broken. You'll still feel the loss. and that conversation, it will likely just open old wounds. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not events that disturb people. It is their judgments concerning them." You're not disturbed by what happened. You're disturbed by your need to keep understanding it, and that's the trap. You keep digging for answers instead of focusing on your healing. Here's the reality. Closure comes from within. You give yourself closure by deciding that you've had enough, that you no longer need answers to move forward. You're not going to let someone else's decision keep you stuck. You control how this story ends. Imagine this. You've been waiting for that text that calls that final closure conversation. But instead of waiting for them to give you permission to move on, you decide right now that you're done. You don't need their words to heal. You're choosing to close that door on your own terms. To wrap up our discussion on how to act when someone walks away, the Stoic treatment, let's reflect on the timeless wisdom we've explored and how it can empower you in life's most challenging moments. In the heat of emotional turmoil, it's easy to feel overwhelmed when someone chooses to walk away from you, whether in a personal relationship, friendship, or even at work. But through the lens of Stoicism, we can learn to navigate these situations with grace, strength, and clarity of mind. When someone exits your life, the Stoic approach is not to resist or fight against the reality of the situation, but to embrace it with equanimity. This doesn't mean you are indifferent to the loss or the emotions that come with it. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to face these feelings honestly without letting them overwhelm or control us. Emotions are natural, but they don't have to rule our behavior. As Epictetus says, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Remember that every ending brings with it a new beginning. This is where the Stoic focus on self-reliance becomes particularly powerful. Seneca wrote, "A man is unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." You are not dependent on any one person or situation for your happiness or peace. The Stoic approach teaches us that true contentment comes from within, from aligning ourselves with virtue and rationality, rather than from external circumstances that we cannot control. Another important aspect of Stoicism is understanding the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is fleeting, and nothing lasts forever, including relationships and connections. By accepting this truth, you can reduce the shock and pain when someone walks away. As Marcus Aurelius said, all things are ephemeral, fame and the famous as well. In this sense, people's actions, including their decision to leave, are part of the natural flow of life. Recognizing this helps you maintain perspective, keeping you from attaching too much weight to events that are beyond your control. Focus trick: dive into your hour of power and remind yourself that your future doesn't depend on someone else's explanations. Now hit yourself with this affirmation: I give myself closure. Say it again: I give myself closure. If you can drop it in the comments, let them find out about your decision. So folks, this was the end of today's wisdom. If you've reached this point, I really appreciate you, and in fact I love you for it. Why? Because you're serious about your future. You're not sitting back, hoping for things to get better on their own. You're taking action. You're showing up for yourself. And that makes you the one who's going to rise above all of this. You're the person who refuses to break the person who is going to take every piece of pain, every challenge, and turn it into strength. This journey we've been on together, it's just the start. You're building something unbreakable, and I couldn't be proud of you for committing to this path. And I would love to know that you've read this far, so drop a keep it up in the comments to let me know that you're in this with me, fully dedicated to creating a future where you are stronger, wiser, and ready for anything.